Hey there, and welcome to the Hot Slice Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you by Pizza Today magazine, and we are here to talk all things pizza business. I am your host, Denise Greer, executive editor here at Pizza Today, and along with me is editor in chief, Jeremy White.
Hey, Denise.
Hello. So it is an exciting time of year. I honestly can't believe we're in August, like the
I
middle of
know.
August right now.
I know.
So if you are a pizzeria operator out there listening, do not forget to take your survey because these surveys will give us so much insight onto what is happening right now in the pizza business, so that we can produce our end of the year trends report so that we can give you all of the nuggets about what's happening regionally, nationally, everything across
Yeah.
the board. And I'll put a link to that survey in the show notes.
Yeah, it's very important to us. It's one of the key ways in which we are able to keep our fingers on the pulse of this industry. So it is very important to us, but it also should be important to our readers of Pizza Today because all that information gets digested and filtered back to them in the form
Yes,
of articles and statistics and the things that they need to know what's going on in their business.
absolutely. And also, Jeremy, we need to remind them to read your Pizzeria of the Year article because it is so
Yeah,
good. And it is, there's so many nuggets, there's so many great ideas in that Pizzeria of the Year, and so much inspiration for what other operators can do with their business through our Pizzeria of the Year, Camporosso.
yeah, I was very inspired by them, as were you and Josh and Katie were on the visit with us, and we were all very, very inspired by what they're doing at Camporoso. The founders, Eric and Amy Redfield, they just they we talked about it last week, but they give back to their community and their staff in a really big way. They are servant leaders. They are the definition of servant leaders, and I you know. I would love to work for them. They are
Yeah.
really, really awesome people. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's one other thing I want to tell you guys about before we dive into our guest, and that is our new Pizza Today featured pizza of the week. We actually go to Instagram. We have a hashtag PT Pizza of the Week is the
Yep.
hashtag. But we're also searching from all the pizzerias we follow to find out and look for really dynamite pizza combinations. That's what we want to do is we want to feature those combinations so we can share inspiration so that people
Yeah.
can come up with their own really neat pizzas. Now we do pick some out there pizzas or we pick some interesting pizza combinations. Sometimes in the comments we'll get not my thing or no. And then other times, oh, like some of them have corn on them.
Yeah.
So we're picking unique combinations. So
We
if
are.
you, as you do your featured pizzas or your specialty pizzas, make sure you're hashtag doing that hashtag or just tag pizza today. And we'll take a look at them because we love to feature your pizzas. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. We do it on the website and we do it on social media.
That's right. We don't mind pushing the envelope, and we want to showcase pizzerias and pizzas that are pushing the envelope with ingredients. We get it. We get the comments. Like for example, you mentioned corn. I'm a person who I love a good ear of corn in the summer. I am never, ever, 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 ever putting corn on a pizza or ordering a pizza with corn on it. I am
I
just not.
am. Have you never had
And
an elotes pizza yet? I mean,
you
it's a
know what? I'm
big
not doing
thing.
it. I'm not
Uh,
doing it. But
but
here's the thing.
elotes pizza is so good. Like it's been on lots of specials. Lots of
Yeah.
pizzerias that have
Yep.
specials, an elote
Yep.
special.
I get it. There are people who won't put pineapple on pizza and give me all the pineapple on my pizzas. So like we all have our own little quirks and we totally get it. But we are going to push the envelope with these recipes because it just gives you inspiration in your shop.
Yep, and that's what it's there for. All right,
Yeah.
let's get into our guest, Jeremy. Who are we talking
Yeah,
to
let's
today?
do. So, I apologize in advance. I'm not Italian. I'm probably going to butcher the last name, but our guest today is Jeff Cincotta. He is the chef owner of Molinari's Italian Eatery and Pizzeria, as well as Ravello Italian Kitchen. These restaurants are in Watertown, Massachusetts, and Dedham, Massachusetts. So they are outside the Boston area. Jeff has more than 5 decades experience as a trained professional working chef, and now he's in our world. He's in our pizza business, and he's thriving with it to the
Yeah,
tune of well over 3 million in annual revenue and annual gross sales. He's doing really, really well, and he's a fun character to talk to.
absolutely. And I love his take on things. And we dive into that, we were just talking about combinations. We dive into some fun inspiration as far as food and what he likes and
We do.
the whole northeastern vibe. And we even talk a little bit about clam pies. And if you're a
Yeah,
clam pie fan like I am,
I am.
you're gonna
See, I
like that
won't do the corn, but I'll
conversation.
do clam.
Yeah, see, I'll do clam all day long. I'll do it all. I'm not too pickle.
Fair
I don't
enough.
like pickles on pizza, but that's the extent of
I do. See,
it.
there you go. But hey, let's get Jeff on and hear what he's got to say.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Ruby, a fifth-generation dairy farmer here in Humboldt County, California. Did you know that 99% of California's dairy farms are family-owned? And we're proud to sustainably produce the milk that goes into quality cheeses you use to create your delicious pizzas. Thanks for helping make California not only America's #1 dairy state, but the leading producer of mozzarella too. We hope you enjoy this podcast.
Thank you for joining us today. I just wanted to start off by asking a little bit about your longevity in the business. You have been in the pizza business for quite a long time.
Yeah, professional chef by trade, certified executive chef. I'm 65 in December. I've been in a kitchen since I was 15.
Wow.
I worked private clubs for a number of years until 10 years ago when I went home one night and told my wife, I need a change.
Yeah.
And she says, what are you talking about? I said, I think I want to open my own place. And so we developed Molinari's back in 2015, and we opened up in 16.
Oh, wow.
We over here Molinari's right now. We just starting our 9th year, and since then we've expanded over to Ravello Italian Kitchen over in Watertown, our second property. Had a little run-in with the landlord over there. He wasn't interested in letting me make a little of adjustment and put a Neapolitan oven in over there. So we don't do pizza over there. Molinari's we do now. We're developing a place called Zocca, Zocca, which we plan to open by the 1st of December this year. This will be another neighborhood of the Boston area. We'll be doing the same style as Molinari's, just under a different brand name, but wood oven pizza, scratch Italian seasonal cooking with fresh pasta and stuff like that. So my background is varied. It's long, but really working in the pizza, it's been, 12 years. I started developing dough and doing pizza in the private clubs.
Yeah.
And my membership really liked that because it was just another element that we brought to the menus. I was in a situation in a country club where we had 800 members and we used to change the menu every 45 days. So I was always coming up with different menu items and things that we needed. And then the pizza thing came about, and I've always loved pizza, but it goes back many, many years. And we started Molinari, so we do real well over here.
Good for you. That's really fascinating. 50 years in commercial kitchens. Obviously a lot of chops, a lot of skills developed over the years. You've got experience with lots of different types of cuisine. Where does pizza fall for you on that realm in terms of making pizza now every day for a living. As far as your joy level goes, where does it land on the spectrum?
Oh, it's still inspiring. It's still going. We're constantly playing with dough. We're tweaking new recipes with the dough. Let's get a little more water in there. Let's go to a different mix. I'm playing around with one of the recipes for grilled pizza right now. That's
Ooh.
Nice.
well, this is how I'm getting around in Ravello right now. We've really the company and over there, that restaurant's really taken off over 5 years, and we just expanded from dinner only into lunch and dinner. We stopped lunch 3+ years ago with the pandemic. Where my place is over in Watertown, there's a lot of biotech about a half a mile away, but everybody dispensed out of the buildings and nobody was working, so we decided to cut that back. But now we're beginning in a couple of weeks again with lunches, and so my way around getting pizza for that property just at lunch is we're going to do a grilled pizza. So we'll do a couple of styles just to fill in the balance on the menu. And, like I say, the grilled dough is a lot different from the 72-hour dough that we make here at Molinari's.
Sure it is. Denise is a big fan of grilled pizza. So you're
I
talking
love
her
it.
language.
Listen, there's definitely a use for it in the world. Just got to find the right platform for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a question for you about, when you were in the private clubs and transitioning to owning Italian restaurant pizzerias, what were some of the skills that you really needed to bring in and learn or outsource in order to be successful as an owner?
Yeah, great question. Again, I went to the Culinary Institute in New York. While I was at the clubs, I had the opportunity to go back each year out to St. Helena and go out to Greystone and do some continuing ed courses.
Oh, nice.
So, I did some on wine, some on cooking, some on management. But over the years, you learn from different mentors, and then you kind of group yourself and take a little bit from all your mentors to create your own style. I've learned management, managing people, menu writing, costing. I've done development of kitchen layouts and stuff. So all those elements, menu writing, teaching your staff, nurturing your staff. We're completely computerized here with station checklist and batch recipes and all. So accumulation of all that stuff really helped out with me developing my own brand and bringing people in and teaching them and all. So quite diverse.
That's awesome. What really pulled that trigger for you where you're like, I'm going to get out of the private kitchens and do my own thing? Like what really like sparked that flame?
I think so I've had 3 big jobs in my life. One for 16 years, another one for 11 years, another one for 7 years. So the last one, I had a great time where I was, but as me personally, I was starting to get a little stale. I needed a new fire. I needed to do something else. And I went home and told my wife, and she goes, I said, we need to talk. She goes, is everything all right? I went, yeah, everything's great, but we need to talk. She goes, well, what's up? I says, I think I want to open my own restaurant. She goes, are you out of your mind? I need a new charge. I need a new challenge and all. But what did it to me was I lived a lifestyle in the clubs for years and years where you had to work that calendar. And basically from 1st of March until the end of November, you were really on call 7/24. So it was a long time. Never took a summer vacation. Yeah, I'd have the winters off and we would travel in the winter and stuff like that. But I was into a lifestyle that I wanted to change again. And more importantly, for years of cooking for the private sector and, 300-400 members and their friends, I knew my food was good, very good, and I wanted to get it out to the public. So that was the drive. It was to, I know what I'm doing. Let's go out and do it. And
Mhm.
that was what it was, just an inspiration for me to work for myself finally.
Yeah.
It's
And
been
you're
a good. It
near
was a
and you're nearing that 10-year mark. So I mean
yeah,
that's a huge
yeah,
success. Congratulations to you
yeah,
on venturing out to your own
yeah.
and
I don't
becoming
feel
successful
65.
at it.
I don't feel 65. I feel 40, 45. I mean, I got a lot of energy. I got a great team of people, and that's really what I'm very proud of, what I've built over the years here. So,
That's amazing.
I wanted to ask you about executing pizza as compared to other types of cuisine. We have
yeah,
found over the years, oftentimes people jump into the pizza industry because they think it's going to be easy.
right.
I don't necessarily find that to be the case, especially if you're dealing with the complexities of dough development and things like that. But where, what say you? You spend a lot of times in a lot of different kitchens. Is
Yeah.
pizza easy?
It can be, and it can't be. You know, the
Yeah,
science of it is the bottom line.
sure.
We have the humidity right now versus in the the fall and the spring. Okay, we need that dough out early. We got to get that temperature up there. Um, I enjoy the development of the dough and the characteristics and changing it a little bit according to the temperature. I mean, I hear people ask me all the time, how come your dough is so good and it's consistent? We measure everything out. It's done the same way every time. But what is interesting to me when it comes to pizza is that I have people ask me, gee, my dough is not that good. And, we can't make our own dough because the water is hard. Well, buy some
Mm.
filtered water, start with clean ingredients.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But what I really like for my style and what we do with our artisan pizzas, we're seasonally changing them. Whatever I can get from the farm is going on that pizza.
Yeah.
How's that for a Boston accent? Farm.
I
Um,
like it.
so Jeremy, that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
You'd be able to change the ingredients around and all. I get a kick out of taking kids that have never played with dough before. Within 90 days, they're spinning the dough. They understand the characteristics, what it is to work with a wood oven. You know, that I enjoy that. I love to teach. I love to see people prosper with it, but
Yeah.
it's an ongoing changing thing. The flour changes today. The
Yeah.
tomatoes. I grew up in the industry when there were only two lettuces on the menu: iceberg and romaine, and you could only eat oysters. In the months that ended with an R. So it's changed quite a bit, but it's always an evolution. You find that the same thing, changing
Yeah.
the
I mean, it
dough.
seems to be with the most successful pizzeria operators that Denise and I know and talk to regularly. Constantly evolving seems to be a thematic necessity for long-term success. Those who say, my pizza is exactly like it was 55 years ago when my grandfather opened, they're
Yeah,
not always doing as well as the
yeah,
other people. They've
Yeah.
managed
yeah.
to stay in business for a very long time, so props for that, but they typically don't seem to be as
Yeah.
polished and doing as well, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, this industry here is changing every day. You got to pivot. You got to pivot with
Yeah.
the ingredients. You got to the trends. What's going on out there.
Mhm.
You know, my goal someday would have an operation where I could do 3 or 4 different styles of pizza under the same roof. Now I
Yeah.
know Tony's doing it out in San Francisco. You got
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neapolitan, he's got the Pan, he's got the
Yeah.
Grandma, he's got the Detroit, he's got the New York. I mean, he's got the space to do that. To me, I think that's a wonderful, wonderful concept.
Mhm.
It really is difficult to do if your landlord says no wood burning oven.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what you're missing? A nice
Yeah.
Neapolitan buy it. You understand? But yeah, the change in the way the industry is changing. If you're into it and you stay up on the trends, I think that's the drive that makes you successful and push.
Yeah.
It's always a push. My creed as a chef has always been, and what I try to instill in everybody that works for me. It's like this is good. I know this is good, but how can we make it better? You know, you want to
Yeah.
attain for perfection that you can't always, you're never going to attain perfection, but you can work for it and try to reach it. And I think that's, you know, this is good, but how can we make it better? That's, you know, that's what gets the juices flowing.
I
Yeah.
like it. Don't rest on your laurels.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. You had mentioned your seasonal menu and using
Yeah.
seasonal ingredients.
Yeah.
Does that scratch that culinary creative itch you have as a chef to
Oh,
get in
absolutely.
there and create? And kind
Yes.
of, is there anything currently you're playing with or things that you're looking forward to maybe this
So,
fall to work with?
well, we're going to have a little push here in another 2 weeks, where I do this pizza with squash blossoms, figs, and stracciatella cheese.
Oh,
Now,
yum.
you know,
Mm.
I've always been fascinated. There's a lot of people in the world just doesn't know how that food got on the table and where it came from via the grower, the farm, or whatever. You know, I
Yeah.
try to explain to people, you know, a head of celery is 2.5 feet long. No, it's not. It's only no. The root is another,
Yeah.
foot and a half in the ground. Um, so with the squash flowers, as soon as we get them off the farm in June, you know, the first ones come off the zucchini and the summer squash, the
Hmm.
spring squash. But now, in a couple of weeks, they're already coming early. But now the flowers are coming off of the acorn squash and the pumpkins,
Oh,
butternut
yes.
squash.
Mm.
So those flowers tend to be sweeter. And it
Hmm.
has a really good contrast on the pie with the nice black fig, California fresh fig, and
Oh,
then, you know, a little stracciatella cheese to finish it on top. Um,
yeah.
both of my stores and my third one is the same. It will be the same thing. I don't have a freezer in the building. There's no freezer in our buildings. We make everything. The only thing I buy is the bread for the table and for the grinders and the sandwiches, and it comes from a bakery here in Boston area called Iggy's. They've been around for 35 years. Natural sourdough starter, uh,
Hmm.
fantastic bread. But the fact that we're using all fresh ingredients is the other part of our, you know, menu design and stuff. So seasonally, right now, that's the next one coming. The tomatoes that we're doing right now, the tomato pie, the heirloom tomatoes that come off the farmer, this farm down in Sharon called Ward's. Fabulous tomatoes. Their seeds go back for generations,
Oh, I love
and
that.
so that's another one. You know, um, we'll play with, you know, some fish a little bit on the menu, not as much on the pizza. We do a clam. We have a clam pizza here. We
Hmm.
shuck the clams to order. You know, everybody talks about, you know, pizza down in Connecticut, and
Uh-huh.
and their clam pizza. It's not the clam pizza that you got down there 30 years ago, which I used to stop when I was driving home from the culinary,
Mm.
you know, going heading
Uh-huh.
home. I would always stop for a clam pie. So that seasonal clam pizza that we have on there right now is tremendous as well. So, you know, we mix it up, but it depends what's coming out and what's available. It
Yeah.
could be on our menu for 1 or 2 days, and then it's off. And we print our menus daily for the specials. So
Oh, yeah.
so that's how we're able to control everything that's going on. You know.
Absolutely. I don't think that a lot of people in the rest of the country understand how amazing a clam pie is,
Yeah.
unless you've been to the Northeast. Like,
Right.
because you guys just do it so well.
Yeah.
It's just like butter on the pizza. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love the clam
Five
pie.
five top neck clams come out to about 5.5 ounces of clam in the juice, and we use the juice on it. You know, white pizza, a little olive oil, a little garlic on the bottom, some red pepper flake, and we put a little pizza mozzarella mix and a little bit of fontina. Not a lot of cheese, and then the
Hmm.
clams go over the top in the wood oven, come out, and then we finish it with just a little drizzle of our own house made chili oil, and
Oof.
it really gives a real crack to the finish at the end. You know, so you get a little bit of salty there. It's really
Hmm.
funny. We have that on the menu. We also have these little neck clams Mongoli with a fresh ingredient. It's a staple on the menu, has been for years. And every now and then somebody will, chef, people think it's too salty. Come again?
Yeah.
they're having linguine and clams, and it's salty. Well, clams come out of the ocean. They're not salty. It's just it's that salt finish of the clam. We get that with the clam pie every now and too.
Yeah.
So we hear about that. But,
Nice. I
awesome.
was wondering, I was going to ask you if you had a clam pie or if you'd ever taken like lobster roll as inspiration for a pizza. Some of the things I think about when I think of Boston cuisines.
yeah. So I'm not saying it's happened since us, but when I first opened here, I put a shrimp scampi pizza on the menu.
Mhm.
And you see it popping up on people's menus now a little bit
Yeah.
more and more, but everybody's got their own style of the scampi pizza. So the
Mhm.
chef and me, we were one of the bases we make this garlic parmesan reduction. We take a case of uh, heavy cream and with 3 cups of garlic cloves and some fresh nutmeg, and we reduce it down by a third, and then we chinois it and puree it
Mm.
and chill it, and that's our Parmesan garlic, base. So that's our sauce for the scampi, and we put that with our cheese. But then I take 2125 shrimps and we clean them up, and we just a simple marinade: salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, some lemon juice, and some virgin olive oil. So our scampi pizza has the baby shrimp on it, and then we put some nice baby tomatoes on it as well.
Oh
Comes
yeah.
out of the oven. We finish it with a little drizzle of lemon oil over the top. It sells real well,
Mm.
So
Okay.
that's our scampi. I've played with some other stuff. We've done some barbecue pulled pork pizza with some sweet potato on there in the fall. Some of them, I've tried some of them pizzas. Some of them work, some of them don't. And again,
Yeah.
we pivot and we test. If it works, great. If it doesn't, there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't work in our
Yeah.
platform. So we make a crunchy chicken buffalo pizza that just is through the roof, and people eat quite a bit of that one. But what I'm more proud of all our pizzas is our margarita, because we
Mhm.
stretch our own buffalo mozzarella.
Oh
We make that
wow.
in the house, real good Marzano tomatoes, and it's made well. Our dough is kind of a cross of Neapolitan and New York style. It's
Mhm.
2 minutes in the oven. It's moved the 780 in the wood oven. We can move some pie out of the oven. We got 3 people on the bench, one on the oven, one opening, one stretching, and one painting. We can move out 60, 80 pies an hour. Uh,
Mhm.
so we again, but getting back to your question of um, the ingredients and all. Yeah, we play what we can get our hands on, and what we find works, we continually move forward with it. So
Excellent. What about just running the business itself as a business owner? Because you had spent time, you said, in clubs and various restaurants,
yeah,
but I guess you always had a boss, always had an owner that you would
yeah,
report to or collaborate with.
yeah.
What's it been like having to be the person that determines exactly which ingredients you purchase and how much you allocate to marketing and how much you allocate to payroll and all that? Was
Yeah.
that easy to learn, or has that been the side of the business you hate? Where do you fall on that?
No, I like the concept. We like the development. My wife and my wife's got 35 years in the business when we started this. She's basically back office now, AP,
Hmm.
HR, but she loves food. We travel a lot. We talk. We go to a lot of restaurants, and when we opened this, my plan wasn't to be here. My plan was I had my wife and I had a partner, and I was going to be the culinary director, and I was going to stay at the country club.
Yeah.
And about 3, 4 months into it, my wife says, "You better get your ass over here. We're going to lose everything because
Yeah.
people don't know what's going on." And I was ready to go. I was ready to, leave the clubs and go on to my own. So honestly, Jeremy, the first 3 years here, we closed 2 days a year, Christmas
Hmm.
and Thanksgiving. And
Wow.
I took 6 days off the first 3 years I was here. I was here
Mm.
7 days. We opened 7 days a week back then. I was here 7:30 till 10:30 at night. It was really a brick and mortar situation where we started, and we just built and grew as we went. You know, we put stuff on the menu, we opened the door, things took off, we pivoted, we started to get a catch on, kept going up. At that point there, I brought in an assistant chef, and now, Jeremy, now your company's growing, and now you're hiring people. Now you're an employer. Now you're a businessman. You're dealing with the licensing.
Yes.
You're dealing with the landlord. You're the brand development, menu development. Okay, how are we purchasing now? Where are our price points and all? So everything you're talking about, I guess my wife and I got our, masters, our MBA in business, running our own company for the first 5 years. I mean, we had background in what we were doing, but to your point, I think we started with 7 employees, and between both restaurants now, we have 70.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, but my chef and sous chef here at Molinari's, they've been here with me 5 and 6 years. My kitchen team at Ravello, the 8 of them over there, used to work here at Molinari's, and 5 years ago, I picked 8 of them up and moved them over and put them into the kitchen in the Ravello. They already knew the system with our pasta dishes and all, so that was a great transition. And we still continue to hire and train and teach. So my 6 top managers and chefs have been with me 5+ years. Now I'm delegating out the daily operations to them under our tutelage and our our plan. They're taking care of the interview and the hiring. My managers are taking care of the purchasing of the liquor, the scheduling. I have 3 meetings a week with my managers. Those are my 3 busy days. Okay, my hour and a half weekly, 3 times a week with the team. Here's the game plan. I'm handing you folks the football. You got to get to the end zone now. So, but as we grow, these 6 managers here are now taking it to another level that I can branch out and develop more. And that's the thing. You gotta take care of your team. You gotta nurture them. You gotta mentor them. You gotta show them the ins and outs. And it's gone real well. It's not easy that a lot of people can do. I don't know. I mean, what do you hear out there when it comes to building teams and stuff? It's got to be, I know it's the top of my list because,
number one for a lot of people.
Number one, but I mean, my turnover rate in this place is nil. And that's, I'm proud about that. We lose wait staff that go to college and get their careers and all, but the core is here and they continue to grow. So I'm really proud about that.
That's great. That's great. Many find that that's one of the largest challenges. They have difficulty acquiring new employees. They feel like they work hard to train them and then they're gone just like that, and they have to replace them. And that seems to be the primary headache to many operators. So if you're feeling fortunate and doing well in that area, then that's good for you.
One thing I got back to now I hired a manager. Now we had the manager at the store, and then we got to the point where I wanted to make sure there was coverage every day of the week, no matter what was going on. So if the chef had the day off, there's a sous chef running the kitchen for the day. If the manager's day scheduled off, then the assistant manager is running, so that there's basically everybody's accountable. I don't unlock the door at 5:30 in the morning unless I'm in here playing on the stove with some new recipes. I don't lock the door at the end of the night. I'm gone. I'm running between the restaurants. I'm going home to work on my computer. So we've developed this team, and everybody's got their niche. And, once you get that and you can be confident with your team, sky's the limit. Absolutely.
That's Congrats to you. That's amazing. That's because that's the end goal for a lot of operators, is to get to that point where they can hand it over. They can say, here's what we need. And you execute it, it's just, that's what everybody wants.
Molinari's is very unique here. We do very well here. I mean, do you people talk numbers of sales, what you do with other restaurants or stuff like that? Yeah. So this year here, we're going to hit 3.8 million in this store.
Wow.
The last 2 years, we've been around 3.6. 3.5, 3.6.
Mhm.
We 21 and 22, we went nuts. We were like a 21% boost.
Wow.
So the first 2 quarters of this year, sales, we were off a total of $36,000. I think it was like a half or 3/4%, which was great.
Mhm.
There's a little softness out there right now. People are a little
Yeah.
timid and all, but we went from, like I say, where we're at right now. We're doing 70, 73 net sales a week in this store right now. And the thing about it is half is in the restaurant and the other half is out the door
Yeah.
between online ordering and delivery.
Yeah.
I find it astonishing. The restaurant that I just purchased, these folks, okay, were there for 6 years. They never had gift cards. They never did online ordering. They never did takeout. And then in today's world, there is no way you can have a food operation without doing takeout and delivery. I mean, that is the way of the world, and everybody is on the go right now. So, here, that number, it's pretty wild. And, Jeremy, the business part of it, okay, I beat the hell out of DoorDash, okay, and Grubhub, okay, and I have them down to a number. Okay, people talk about 35%. No, I'm not paying 35%. We had them at 12, and now that the third restaurant's coming in, I've just brought it all down to 5%.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're aware, this DoorDash has come out with this new thing now for $2.99, where they're going to eliminate one of the costs in there. I got a Zoom meeting tomorrow about that. I'm going to wait and see how that goes. But the delivery has been great. People are now, I don't know, on the news you're hearing now, people are willing to pay that $8, $10 to have it schlepped to the door because they don't want to go out and get it.
Convenience is everything.
And so the way we have our price point on that is we make it, fair, that it makes them want to come back and keep coming back. And our ratings on our delivery, like our restaurants, are great. So
That's
again,
awesome.
another pivot to the business, right?
That's important.
That's done.
I think it's interesting when people leave those revenue sources on the table. It's like you have so much opportunity, and then when they saw during the pandemic that you could make a lot of money doing takeout and delivery, people really came on board, and I think a lot of people have kept it. So it's an interesting way to go about the business to not have those revenue streams.
Yeah, we got a little thing that we're going to be starting the week after next. We've got it on the online ordering now for delivery, that we've got you can order 4 pizzas and we'll give you the 5th one free.
Oh, wow.
And we're promoting this now with football starting up.
Mm-hmm.
And because we do pretty good on Saturdays and Sundays, but I'm expecting this delivery little thing here to kind of give a little push. And we're still trying to develop delivery and catering for offices lunch through those 2 apps, so that we don't have to be in the middle of the delivery. If we can form that in there, then that will work out well. So that's, trying to think outside the box.
Absolutely.
That's great. I'm impressed. I love the city of Boston. I don't get there as often as I would like, but next time I'm there, I need to stop in.
Oh, please.
Absolutely.
I hope so. Be great.
Absolutely.
Be great.
Yeah.
So,
thank you very much for taking the time today to chat with Denise and I about your experience and your background and what you've got going on. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is. It's great getting up in the morning. Listen, you guys have a great day.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.